Good evening. Kumar Menon here. I'll be making the presentation on cashless hospitalization admission procedures. Discharge procedures. In my last class, I had discussed cashless hospitalization admission procedures for those who are insured. So now coming to cashless discharge procedures, it is applicable to all insured and who are inpatients or are there for treatment in daycare facility. It is applicable in both cases. These days, insurance has become less of a safety net. Earlier, it was considered having insurance is a safety net or protection, but it has become more like, that's my personal opinion, it has become more like a spider's web designed to deny payment to consumers. Naturally, we can understand insurance company also wants to make profits. That will be, the service orientation is also there. This is also a major aspect. Anyhow, those things I will be discussing when I address insurance grievance redressal issues. Consumers like ourselves, lawmakers, regulatory authority for insurance, it is IRDAI, all of them should intervene each and every day and try to make the system more patient friendly. Okay, coming to the hospitalization part. You are in hospital, and usually the doctor, when he comes for the morning rounds, he decides based on tests and the present patient position whether to continue or whether to be discharged. So in India, normally it happens around 10:30, 11. So that's a signal for the insurance help desk people to start billing procedures and to arrange for all data. Maybe it may be from various departments in the hospital. There are hospitals with more than 30 departments. There are hospitals with 3 or 4 departments. Whatever it be, all the data required, like test reports, bills, what has been done, everything has to be collected. And normally, we can expect that the hospital will send the final bill or sanction by around 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Around that time, please go and check at the insurance counter whether they have sent the bills for sanction to the TPA. It is always better you recheck and ask them what was the time when it was sent. At present, the turnover time, we call it TAT, for bills sent, final bills sent, is 3 hours. That means it should be sanctioned within, processed and sanctioned within 3 hours. But here there is a hitch. Sometimes the TPA doctor, the TPA will require some additional clarifications on the treatment procedures, expense incurred. They may send a query, one query or many queries. Definitely, that has to be attended to immediately and reply sent. Then only the whole system will work and you can be discharged by around, say, after 3 hours by around 5:36. So please check whether there are any queries. What happens is, because many hospitals are very busy and staff may be few, they do not check whether a query is there. That is a grave situation. They will say, no reply has come. Don't go by that. Ask them to check whether the TPA has requested for any query to be answered. That has to be immediately looked into. What happens in comparatively small hospitals is that uh, the query remains unanswered because the doctor may be busy. Whatever it be, uh, that has to be attended to. I'll speak about this elsewhere, how insurance help desks in hospitals work, what is their standard, and other things. Suppose if you get the final bill, there may be non-payable items. They may list some non-payable items, and they will ask the patient to make the payment for that from their own sources. Unless the amount is not very huge, you need not be perplexed by that. What is disallowed in the cashless procedure can again be taken up, and reimbursement, it can be sent for reimbursement with your clarification why it should be paid. Along with that, anyhow, once you are admitted, 30 days pre-sanction papers and 90 days post-sanction papers will have to be sent at the earliest for payment. Along with that, you can include the non-paid items, and if they are payable, you should specifically request them to pay that also. In many cases, this happens, and they have made payment as reimbursement. Another thing here is that many things depend on how the hospital help desk, insurance help desk works. In specialty hospitals, multi-specialty hospitals and other large establishments, it will be well manned. They say they may be having 20, 30 staff at the insurance help desk. Most of them will be friendly. There, you will not have much difficulty. But at the same time, there are hospitals which are understaffed, and also the insurance procedure awareness of the staff may vary from hospital to hospital. Major hospitals, the insurance help desk is open 24/7. That is, always it is open. So issues will be less. Whereas many small hospitals, their insurance desk opens at around 9, 10 a.m. in the morning, and they close and go by about 5, 6 in the evening. Here, what happens, the difficulty is that if there are any queries by the TPA, nobody will be there to answer the query. That means the patient will have to remain at the hospital till next day morning, till they come, the insurance desk opens. That's a hassle we are facing every time. And also, the doctor who is to answer the query would have left the hospital also. But this will not happen in major hospitals. It does happen in smaller establishments. And these things, by our constant vigilance, only things will improve. So don't hesitate to ask the insurance help desk people what is the position right there. In case you have to stay back because the bill has not been sanctioned by the TPA hospital and the hospital has closed, he will say they may want to leave by around 6 p.m. In such cases, you stay back. Don't be in a hurry to get discharged and go home. In case you have incurred expenses for additional stay, definitely uh, that can be reimbursed, and that should be got reimbursed by sending the additional stay bill with a certification from the hospital stating that it was delayed on account of this reason. You enclose that, the TPA will pay for that expense also. Then I'll come to regional rates. Many policies have region-specific uh, rates for hospitalization. See, that means it may be divided into urban, metro, semi-urban, rural, like that. Here the rates will vary. Check the insurance policy and make sure that the, at the place where you intend to be hospitalized, what is the percentage of rate, whether there is any uh, city-based limits on the treatment cost, because if that is there, you will have to pay from your pocket the balance amount. Always go for all India policies, irrespective of cities, where that classification is not there into A, B, C, D. That will be more helpful. And we naturally, when we opt for group policies, uh, we encourage, there is no uh, ceiling set based on cities or urban centers like that. So in this connection, what I have to say is regional specific rates also apply. In Kerala, for one eye, if you go in for cataract, in Kerala, the expense, it can be done with around 40,000, 42,000. It can, cataract can also be done with around 12,000, 10,000 rupees in some hospitals. But here in Kerala, the average rate is 40,000. But that is here. Suppose you go to Bangalore or Bombay, Delhi, and such other places, the cost will be more than double what is paid in Kerala. That doesn't mean the hospital will reject that claim. Those in Bangalore also, if suppose the cataract bill is 80,000, they are eligible for reimbursement up to 80,000. Just to be aware about uh, the rates in different places. That's all. Allopathic hospitals, normally all hospitals, network hospitals, the minimum criteria is 10 inpatient beds. It will be much more in other hospitals. And for Ayush treatment, I mean alternate treatment, they should have a minimum of 5 inpatient beds. And also check with the hospital that major hospitals you need not be, but when you go for alternate medicine, please ensure the hospital has a license under State or Central Clinical Establishment Act or accreditation from NABH or any such authority. That will be safer. And also, the bills should be GST compliant, because if you send non-GST compliant bills, there is a chance that it could be rejected. So naturally, that from discussion with the office management, you can know. They will tell you the details. While treatment is being done, if the situation changes, the situation of the patient changes, the hospital may change the plan of treatment. They may go in for some other course of treatment. In such cases, where change of treatment is there, please ensure that fresh cashless proposal is sent incorporating the changes. Otherwise, there will be difficulty while being discharged. So always get fresh authorization if treatment changes. There may be around, it's my approximation, 60,000 to 70,000 hospitals in India. Normally, insurance companies here have around network hospitals in that will be between say 5,000 to 13,000, 15,000, like that. But having a network hospital list of 10,000 is very good. That means the coverage is very wide. But if the network hospitals are less, that is an issue. Normally, all new generation, new standalone insurance companies have a minimum of network hospitals. They have a minimum of 10,000 hospitals at least. Whereas this will be slightly lesser for nationalized, public sector insurance companies. They range between 5,000 to 8,000. Then, cashless should not be denied at the time of discharge. So the patient may be there for 2-3 days. When you ask the hospital insurance desk, they will say they have sent the cashless proposal. There is no reply. And suppose you are being discharged on the third day, just before discharge, they will come and say there has been no reply from the insurance company TPA, so you have to pay the full amount in cash. Don't let such a situation arise. That's why I told you earlier to pre-check whether everything in pre-sanction procedures are completed. Otherwise, many hospitals may also miss the queries asked by the TPA. By oversight, they may miss, and if it is not answered, the TPA will not follow up. So it is your duty also to recheck whether pre-sanction papers are, it remains at least token sanction is there before final sanction. On admission, some hospitals ask for security deposit to be paid. That is because they might have incurred some expenses, not major expenses, and the pre-sanction for the cashless has not arrived yet. The tests and treatment procedure has not been decided. Till then, some hospitals, generally bigger hospitals, major hospitals do not ask for security deposit when patient is being admitted, but there are hospitals who take security deposit. You may have to give it, but please ensure that the payment is made as an advance. The bill should be an advance bill so that when the final settlement is done, the hospital can refund the amount to you, so paid if any. One thing I have noticed these days is that it is always better when you apply for cashless claim to give a copy of your policy document. See, many hospitals are dealing with hundreds of patients a day. They are also at the same time, there are so many thousands of policies. So it is always better you give your specific policies so that they will know what all are covered, and so the billing and other things can be done accordingly. They will have full knowledge about the policy. What has happened is that in some cases, we have that experience. Earlier, for example, I will tell you, the patient had taken previous year 2 lakh policy. Then next year, current year, when claim is being made, he might have taken 4 lakhs. In many cases, this issue has happened. While going through the computer of the TPA or the insurance company, the changes may not have been updated. It may be still showing the old 2 lakh limit and not the fresh limit. That is on account of software errors, updation errors. It has happened. It keeps on happening even now. So once you give the policy, uh, those confusions can be avoided. Then another thing, just a point only, OPD, that is outpatient department bills, cannot be converted into IP bills, inpatient bills. That both are separate. OPD, unless outpatient department insurance cover is there for you, you will have to pay from your sources. You cannot, even if you are admitted in the same hospital, they will not be able to convert the OPD bills into inpatient bills. Then, slightly I'm deviating, but still that has to be mentioned. Many go with accident injuries to hospitals. Here, you should be aware. Accident means it's a sudden, unexpected thing. It may be a fall, just a fall at home or on the road, or some burn injuries suffered at while working in the kitchen, anything of that sort. When those are all impact injuries. So when you go to casualty or any other place, at the first instance, or to the daycare center, make the doctor should be made aware how the injury occurred. It is very important because suppose it's a hit and run case, a road accident, and such other things. The doctor is supposed to immediately take it as a medico legal case and file the necessary papers with the nearest local police station. That means insurance you will get, but still you have to wait for the FIR from the police. Copy will have to be given. And also unnecessary issues will develop if it is a medical legal case. These days, doctors are also very careful because even when we take children to the hospital, they are doubly careful. It should not be because of some punishment meted out either by parents or somebody else on the child. Then it becomes a medical legal case. That if it's an accidental fall, it's all right. But if it is any other thing, forbid it doesn't happen. But when you present the matter, you should be aware of this. Then physiotherapy, quite common these days, especially for aged. Physiotherapy is covered even if done outside the hospital. Maybe the physiotherapist may come to your house or elsewhere. You go to some physiotherapy center. That will be allowed, provided the doctor, treating doctor, gives a letter that this physiotherapy has to be done for that specified number of days outside. If that is there, you can get the physiotherapy bill reimbursed by the insurance company. Now coming to discharge issues. Always, when being discharged, even if you don't ask, they will give, normally, major hospitals will give a settlement sheet issued by the TPA, third party authority. This is a must. This will detail which are the items not paid. So in case you want to later take up the issue, you should have the settlement sheet issued by the TPA where it will be shown which items have been paid which items have not been paid. So insist on getting the settlement sheet, go through it. If not then, at least later at home. Get also the discharge summary from the hospital with detailed breakup. Discharge summary should contain at least a minimum of 20 to 25 heads under which the bills are split up, so that it will be easier for you to compare the TPA settlement sheet and the hospital settlement sheet. And you can know immediately, specifically, which are the items they have not paid. If injustice has been done and what is claimable has been denied, you can definitely, if possible, you take it up then itself. Otherwise, when you get time, at least within 15 days, you take up the issue and get the payment. See, I will, because it is important, I will go through the TPA settlement bill also of non-paid items and explain under which heads they try to exclude, not include, exclude payment. Suppose a hospital procedure is done, like a surgical procedure, bacterial disinfection is done. I have found many cases this is not paid by the TPA, those charges. Then the patient after the major surgery will be in recovery room. Recovery room charges also, in many cases, the TPAs do not pay, saying that they are non-payable. And there is the favorite method. Under others, we don't know what the others mean. Under others, they will show a certain amount and say this is not payable. That is not correct. It should be transparent. You cannot keep on adding any amount to others and not explain what these others mean. So be careful. Another quite common thing is skin preparation charges. That can all be actually, it is associated with the surgical procedure. It is actually claimable. It should be paid. There are instances where the TPA do not pay skin preparation charges. Monitoring charges. Normally, a person while under surgery has to be constantly, his condition has to be constantly monitored. The hospital will state it as monitoring charges, and the TPA will not pay the charges, which is also not a correct procedure. What I want to emphasize here is if there is very good understanding between the TPA and the hospital, all the major hospitals have that understanding, such issues will not arise. This conflict of interest arises where there is ignorance on the part of the hospital in preparing the bills properly. Their ignorance about that particular insurance policy, that is quite expected, and depends on their relationship with the insurance company. Then another favorite head is non-payable consumables. Please ascertain and check what are the items which are included under non-payable consumables. It is all consumables are not, it doesn't mean all consumables are payable. Some consumables are payable. Operation theater consumables are insured. I mean, they should be paid. But here they will make it vague and say non-payable consumables. Please ascertain exactly what are the non-payable items and claim them as reimbursement in case you are not satisfied with the settlement. Then what should be allowed? I mean, even some taxes and other things, there is a way it is being rejected. Actually, taxes, surcharges, registration charges, admission charges, charges for ambulatory devices, like that means prosthetic devices, or leg related and other things, movement related, uh, 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 what do you call them? Implements, I mean, instruments which are used for ambulatory services, crutches, for an example, stockings, ortho pads, then subcutaneous insulin pumps, diabetic footwear. These should be paid by the insurance company. They cannot add this to any non-payable item. So the only way is to be thorough with your insurance policy, the terms and conditions. Only then can you convince them and get the bill settlement done properly. That is, in other words, knowledge is power. You have the information, you'll get the amount, and at the same time, these are not payable. What is not allowed, that also, generally I will tell you. Spectacles, contact lenses, hearing aids. These will not be reimbursed or payment insurance. Generally, I say they don't cover these items. At the same time, certain procedures like intraocular lenses and cochlear ear-related implants, that is paid. That should be paid by the insurance company. To know about these things, awareness about the policy is the one and only way. I know from practice, because very few people go through the policy details while purchasing the policy or even while claim is made. Maybe in some cases you can understand it may not be able to go through all the details. Some may not have the patience, some may not have the health, some may not have the aptitude, whatever it be, but that has to be there. Some pains have to be taken because you are paying from your pocket. You should be guarded about. What I told earlier, I will have to repeat with more clarity. That is, most of the consumables, many types of consumables are paid by the hospitals. But either the hospital or the TPA, not in all cases, but in many cases, they have a method of clubbing these consumables as non-payable, leading to loss for the patient. That you have to be guarded about this. Also, I hope to conclude within 5 or 10 minutes. The discharge, as I told you, as important as the settlement sheet of the TPA, the hospital discharge sheet is also a must. It should show admission fee, anesthesia, split up charges, inpatient consumables, disposable consumables, surgeon's fee, and many other things of that sort. That should be a detailed billing. It all depends on the software they employ. So see that you get such a bill. What happens is many people get admitted to non-network hospitals where one has to go for reimbursement. Such hospitals They are non-network hospitals because of certain reasons, certain standards they may not be having. That will lead to difficulties in getting reimbursement. Here, while dealing with reimbursement, I'll tell you what are the issues that come up when being treated in non-network hospitals. Then, till last month, it was a topic for discussion, GST for health insurance. See, normally we all think that GST is 18% for medical insurance. But while billing, please be aware that consultation charges, diagnosis charges, treatment charges, here they see it is zero GST. These expenses do not attract GST. Room rent up to 5,000 rupees is also free of GST. At the same time, medicine and consumable items, there it is not flat 18% GST. It varies between 5 to 12% GST. Unless these things are known, there'll be loss. That's all I can tell you publicly. Coming to the conclusion, just 2-3 points. At present, it was not so in 2020, early part of 2024. Now, a very senior citizen, even if he is 99 years old, he can apply for insurance cover. It cannot be denied. Maybe the premium may go up, but still, earlier there was the insurance companies were taking only in some cases people above 65 could not be insured. Then it later changed to 75. Now it is 99. Many people discuss this point that hospital charges are going up because more and more people are taking insurance. So one of the reasons they say for hospitalization charges going up is because of the wide prevalence of insurance patients, insured patients. That is a partial truth. It's one of the contributory factors, but still it should be understood that in India, the hospital rates go up year by year between 15 to 27%. So naturally, we have to expect that the insurance premium charges also go up. Then dental treatment is another frequently asked issue, whether that can be insured. It can be, yes, it is insured. It comes under daycare procedure, but there is a hitch. See, if it is, if you have dental issues on account of an accident, if it is an accidental injury, it can be treated, and if it can be treated in a daycare center, definitely you will get the amount. In another instance, you have teeth issue and tooth-related issues. You are also having comorbid conditions. That means other like diabetes, heart issues, pressure, blood, BP issues, and other things. It is always better to get admitted in a hospital before and then do the dental procedure, because it's high risk area when dental procedures are being done, and if you are having comorbid conditions, it is always better. But you, as a patient, you should not recommend that. That is, the hospital should do it. They should admit and treat. In such cases, it is possible to get insurance. At present, I will generally tell you about the present rates. Say, not for all, across the board. Suppose you are 78 years old and you are having many uh, pre-existing diseases like heart or pressure or anything of that sort. Then the premium normally ranges will be in the range of 1,20,000 rupees for a policy of say 15 lakhs, 1.20 lakhs. It may vary, but it's a generalization. We at the bank and many in government service, when after retirement, they get insurance for the employee and his or her spouse. Here, in many cases, it will be group policies where the rates will be slightly lower. And normally, for a 4 lakh policy, you can expect a premium of around 49,000, 50,000 rupees for two persons. It's not for one person. But here you should understand another fact also. Suppose two persons are insured from the family, senior citizens. Usually at that age, they may have to go in for cataract. So suppose that means if they do it all in that policy year, that two pairs of eyes, four cataract treatments, if it is all done at the Kerala rate of 40,000 rupees, the premium incurred on cataract alone will come to more than 1,80,000, 1,60,000. So that is why when claims are on the high side, the premium also can be expected to be on the high side. But what we are concerned here is not is a concern. We are concerned about the premium, definitely from the financial angle. At the same time, we also believe in fair settlement of insurance. That's a long fight. It's not a fight, actually. It's an understanding. We should not permit such exploitation and be vigilant against such issues. With that, on another aspect, just while closing, it came into my mind. What I have found from experience is that many of the insured, they do not actually follow up and get the insured amount they are liable to get. If with a little effort, they follow up the issue and try to get full reimbursement, or at least or the terms as per the terms of the policy, they'll get more amount. But what I see now, maybe because of the age of the people with whom I deal with, say they let go of that amount. They say, I have already received about say 1 lakh. That's okay. Even if 10,000 rupees I don't get, I cannot I go after these things, and they just leave it. They do not do the follow-up work and try to get that amount. That may be because of lethargy. It may be because they have sufficient financial sources. I don't know. This trend is catching on. That should not be the case. We have among our claimants many fighters who will not even allow a single rupee to be uh, paid unnecessarily. There are many people like that. There are people who send 3 times, 4 times and request for full payment settlement, and many have got varying amounts finally without having to go through the grievance procedure. So, thank you for hearing me out. See you next time. Kumar Menon, signing off. Thank you.